Hey YouTube, Amanda G Gogo here. I'm back and I've got a video. I'm going to review a couple items that I use for jiu-jitsu or will start using for jiu-jitsu. I don't use them yet. I ordered some gloves online and I ordered a SISU mouthguard. My academy that I train at has just started a stand-up course that does more like punch drills and sparring, and so I needed some gloves to participate in that class. And I needed a mouth guard. So I'll start with the gloves. I don't want to ramble on too much because I always end up doing that. But they just came packaged in this little like plastic bag here. And when I ordered them online, they were about $12. Some of them were a little bit cheaper depending on the design you got, but I just got the white ones because I liked the color and the design the best out of the choices. There weren't a ton of options. They are one size fits all, which I thought was kind of interesting because I've bought some gloves before, previously in other brands, and they always had different sizes for, you know, people's hands are different sizes, but these were one size, so I hope they'll work out at least until I can afford to get some slightly nicer ones if I keep up with the stand-up class. But for now, these will work. They are Cheerwing brand, and they've got this nice little skeleton hand design on each glove, which I think is kind of neat. A little bit dorky, but I think it's cool. It's got a Velcro adjustment strap, and then on the inside here it's got an elastic band. So let me get the one for the correct hand here. And I'm just going to slide my hand. Ooh, I haven't put these on yet. This is a snug fit, but it's got that elastic band there. It's got a strap area for your thumb, and then it's got for your forefingers. So there it is on, and I'll put the other one on. These are a decent size. They're a little bit snug, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, you know. Means they're not going to fall off, but they've got the design. They've got padding here. It's a lot more firm. I'm not sure. I guess it's just foam, but it's a lot more firm. And then this padding up here has a lot more give to it. See, when you push here versus here, there's no give really on the side, and then up here there's quite a bit of give, you know, because this is the part you'll be punching with, then up here to block. But yeah, they seem to fit nice. I can move my hand. They're not like so tight that they're like hurting, cutting off circulation. But now, mind you, I have fairly like skinny hands. I have really long fingers, but my hands are fairly skinny. So if your hand's any like larger, if you can see, there's still some space here. So I mean, if your fingers are a little larger, they'll still fit. It'll be a little more snug, but they'll still fit. But these seem like nice gloves. I might put up a more in-depth review on these once I actually have used them in class. I just wanted to kind of show them off a little bit, overview of what they are. And again, these aren't like the best of the best you could get. I just needed something affordable. These were about $12 on Amazon for this design. They had some cheaper ones in different designs. My boyfriend, I think, actually got one that was like $10 or $11 just because the design was different and they were different color, but I liked these, so I was willing to pay a couple bucks more. So yeah, that's the gloves, and now I guess I will review the SISU. So the next item is the SISU mouthguard, and I'm sure everybody's heard of these already. I know they're pretty popular in the hockey world, and I'm starting to see them more in like the martial arts, sparring, BJJ, stuff like that as well. I got the yellow one, again, because it was cheaper than some of the other colors. Otherwise, I probably would have gone for white or blue maybe, but I liked the yellow. It's not bad. Hopefully it doesn't make it look like I have, like, super stained yellow teeth or something from far away. This is the Aereo Next Gen. So the next gen SISUs I know have less holes because some people were complaining that the perforations on there were cutting up some people's gums. So hopefully that won't do this to me. Now, the reason I went with this one as opposed to like one of the standard, like more cushy mouth guards is because, you know, their market is talk, breathe, drink. So I don't really need to do a lot of talking, but it would be nice to be able to drink without having to remove a mouth guard and talk without having to remove a mouth guard, because when I'm rolling and my hands are touching the mats and things like that. Sorry, speaking of my hands stained, I was working on a car earlier and it's kind of dirty. Okay, camera ran out of space again, but anyway, I was saying it's got less perforations. It's very, very thin. Like I said, this is the next step up to the thickest one you can get, and I would have gotten the thicker one, and I might in the future if this one works out for me. I just needed something quickly so that way I could have the things I needed for the class. It's got the guidelines on it for where your teeth go. It's probably not going to show up here on the camera, but it's got a bite guide, and it just goes like that, and you form it around your mouth. So I've got to get a pot of water boiling, and then once that water cools down a little bit, I'll be able to stick this in and hopefully be able to mold it to my mouth and wear it. So we'll see. Okay, so I've got it in the water. The water's been cooling for a minute. It's still hot to the touch, but not boiling like they said. And I'm waiting for it to get pliable, and then we'll see about fitting it. Okay, so as you can see, it was like really hard plastic before, and now it's kind of like bendy and melty and pliable. So now we're going to carefully take it off of here. Oh, I need to get a little bit, well, we'll dip it back in. But just make sure that whenever you go to put it in, that it doesn't stick to itself, because apparently they said that it'll glue itself together and it's kind of hard to undo it. But in theory, you can remold these up. Oh, it's already getting hard. In theory, you can remold these up to 20 times, said the website, which is pretty cool, especially if you're like a kid using it, because as you're growing, your teeth are going to shift around probably a lot more than adults. And so, you know, every month or so, you can refit it so that way if it's too tight or getting too loose, you can just resize it and it'll fit again like new. And I may have to resize it a couple times. I doubt I'll get it on the first try, but let's see. Okay, so I messed up on resizing it. So I've got it back in here, and watch. Isn't that cool? I know everybody does this in the videos they do, but isn't that neat? Now it's just flat again, so now I can try to resize it again. Alright, this is the third time I'm recording this, and I'm almost out of space on my phone, so I'm going to go quick. I can talk with it fine. I have a bit of a lisp. It might be a little hard to understand me, but I'm still not used to having a mouth guard I can talk with, and I have a really small mouth. If you're like me and you have a smaller mouth or that sensitive gag reflex, I would really recommend maybe getting the SISU Go if your sport can allow it. The only reason I didn't get that one, because that one covers canine to canine, so that wouldn't be a problem for me at all. But I've got to have the ones that go a little further back just for that protection when I'm sparring and rolling. But if you're like me in your sport, you really only need to protect those front pearly whites, I would go with the Go, because I really honestly think that that would solve all your mouth guard troubles. Now, like I said, I can still talk with it. I've got to get used to that. I'm not used to having a mouth guard at all. But I can talk, I can breathe, I can drink with it fine, which is nice. It pops on there. It's kind of hard, like, if you can see, it's like harder plastic. It pops on and off though, fine, and when it's on, it's like, oh. When it's in there and on, I can hold my mouth open. A regular mouth guard, it would just fall down. This one, it stays up, which is nice. Let me take it out. Now again, this mouth guard isn't like my holy grail as I was hoping for the gag reflex thing, but it is a whole lot better, and I'm hoping maybe I'll just get used to it, and it won't be as bad. But this one I can, again, speak and drink and breathe and keep it in my mouth without just like projectilely almost vomiting it out of my mouth, so that's definitely an upgrade, and I would recommend it for you people like me that just can't do the mouth guards. So I've got that. I've got my neat gloves, and I am ready to go. Peace.